And we're talking about when you leave here, we're into action period 3. We're not there yet. So I thought about this. Start with the end in mind. Where do we want to be by December 2019? And that's not the end of the end. We want to have your team showing us signals of improvement about your seclusion outcome data. So you're going to be scaling up those testing ideas. This is the ideal. This is what we're shooting for by December 2019, which is not that far away. We want to see some of your process changes and the data around that. What are you doing reliably, and can you show us what is it making a difference? Because we want to be able to share that. We want to have confidence that the new way that we're working will reduce seclusion and we'll be able to spread it, and that there's no unintended negative consequences. So, between 2019 and December 2020, we want to spread all those effective changes that we've learned in this next 6 to 7 months effectively across all areas. We want a process to implement them and make them permanent. We want data to demonstrate effectiveness and an ongoing monitoring process that we'll be holding the gains, so we'll be looking at that. So we've got our big audacious goal. By December 2020, we have a system of care that is equitable and eliminates the need for seclusion. We have safe care for all. We have teams capable of undertaking further improvement projects. No big deal, you guys are all capable of this, as we are seeing. So ideally, at this stage, you should all have a clear aim and a family of measures in place. The voice in the back of my head, which is Natalie, says, please send her your data on balancing measures, and I must remember that. You'll have completed a collection of co-design experiences and their data, and that you will be using those ideas. You will have a clear, articulated and updated theory, your driver diagram. You'll have prioritised ideas for testing, and you'll have good PDSA planned ramps, and you'll have achieving those, and you'll be doing them throughout all your drivers. You'll be capturing your learning from your PDSAs using the PDSA forms and evolving your theory of what works. This is a picture, I think we put this on in your pack around about what the expectations are, where we are, and this is just diagrammatically showing you what I've just articulated. And in those in between activities, those are the Zoom activities and the ongoing coaching sessions. So we are continuing to be available for ongoing coaching. You just have to email one of us and we can set up a Zoom coaching session. And I find those are really, most of those who've had them usually find them quite helpful, and it gets into your detail and about what's going on with you, so it can be quite helpful in getting your team together. So that's where we're looking and getting to zero by December 1st, 2020. There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. This is a very ancient quote, Machiavelli. So, yep, it's hard work, but we've got processes and systems in place to support us. We've talked about this, and this is just a useful model, keeping that in the back of your hand ahead. The IHI spread model, Kevin shared that around us and what we need to do. And also, another useful thing is those 2 documents, and I think they're worth sharing, is about, particularly with your leadership, because they have a different idea of spread than what we have learned. The 7 spreadly sins. I share this with my leadership team on a regular basis and reintroduce it on a regular basis. Practical things to consider when you're starting to spread those ideas. Are they doable? Can they be achieved? Do they add value? Are there people that could be negatively impacted by some of the changes? We need to think about that. Are there additional resources required? What will be required to have the new process occur at least 95% of the time? And when I talk about reliability, that's what I'm talking about. Anything under 80% is considered chaos. Early things to consider for spread. I always talk about building will. You have to continue to build will, engage. Activate people's intrinsic motivation. What's in it for them? Why do they come to work? They come to work to do a good thing. They can be some of the leaders that help that, allow them to do that. Having a clear plan, start thinking about your spread now. That should be becoming part of the discussions within your teams about how we're going to spread. Think about it now. It's going to take us, plan early. Identify additional change champions and leaders within your group. Who are the people that are going to make things happen while you're away? I've talked about that resource. Plan for setback and challenges. ELFT checklists. When in doubt, steal from ELFT has become my new motto. They have some great ideas and great tools around that. And I think these are just useful guides, and they really help, and they're simplistic tools. I've talked again about networking, and we're going to try and some of the great ideas that you're telling us today around how do we encourage that networking, sharing what works, how our team's doing so that we can do that. So we need to do that, but I think you guys need to take that distributed leadership about how are we going to get in contact with people, how are we going to learn from each other and keep things going. I'm supposed to remind DHBs about their balancing measures, which I've done. Continue those who are sending reports to us. That really gives us a good idea where people are at and how we can support you. We'll use the work that you've done today, but feeding reports to us help us, and we're also where challenges are so that we can get involved and try and be supportive in any way that the Commission team can. Talk to teams who are doing well and what you can learn from them and what are the challenges. And I know that balancing measures have been a bit challenging, but those who are doing it, if you have a chat to them, there's actually a way, or to us, about how you can achieve that, and we can support you with that.